Well, my background is that of a lawyer. I had a reasonable time in business, in the law first of all, and then general business. Had a sports agency business for most of the 10 years prior to coming to Derby. And in 2006, we sold our business to an American organisation called the Wasserman Media Group. And as I finished my time at Wasserman, I came to join Derby. I had for some time thought about what my next move would be, and I think having worked throughout, really having worked or having been a player within sports, having been a lawyer, having worked in the business and worked on the agent side, I thought that working on the club side would be something that would appeal. And when the opportunity came up at Derby, for me it was a wonderful opportunity. I thought the football club had massive potential, central to the community, big club, great history, super fan base, great ownership group that was supportive. It just ticked lots and lots of boxes, and so for me, opportunity to sort of relocate, leave London. I've been in London for 40 years at that point. Opportunity to come out the countryside and come to a club where I felt I could make a difference. In 2013, we're around about 14,000 season ticket sales, and which are still very good for a second-tier football club. But now we're at the 22,000 mark. We've just finished with an $18,500 early bird season ticket, which is up nearly 25% from last year. So attendance is now, I think they're averaging 29,000, touching 30,000. I would expect for all the final games at the iPro to be north of 30,000, which is again, it's several thousand more than our competitors. And I think you always have to look at your market whenever you're comparing. So in everything that you do in the Championship, for a club to be regularly getting 30,000 is extraordinary, really. The biggest challenge is that you can have a vision and you can have a belief, but I think a lot of football clubs is out of your control, and a lot of it is very tough. I think on the business side, you're so driven by the results on the pitch, and you can put so much of that in place. We put together a new coaching team, a new operational structure. We've invested heavily in the playing staff, but I think it's the ups and downs of a football club, come what may, is what drives the club. And I think being able to sort of ride that is always tough. So you know that you might have some great marketing plan that you're going to start on a Monday, but if the Saturday's not gone well, you're going to have to relook at that. So I think the strength of the football environment, with its passion, its drive, the communications, all the good things that are going on, the visibility, everyone cares about it hugely. They are great positives, but also that hunger and that desire and that passion can also bring challenges, because you're constantly in the public eye. People are often commenting on what you're doing, and all those sorts of things are very difficult. So I think one has to keep a calm head with the environment around you, knowing that not everything will always go as you wish. Soon after I came to Derby, I sat down with John. I mean, he's actually sort of my right-hand man, and we bounce a lot of things off each other. And we sat down, and part of some of the challenges that we saw were that people probably didn't totally understand, all the different things and the challenges that we've got at the football club and what we're trying to do, and maybe some of the trust element had gone. But at the same time, we needed to understand what was important to the fans, and we had our ideas and our vision. So it was an opportunity really to get out there, know that you may not always be wholly welcomed, but equally at the end of it, we always usually got a handshake and thank for our efforts. And a marked difference between those early ones that we did in February and March of 2013 and the ones that we did in the latter part of 14, it'd been very interesting. But I think people appreciated that 2 or 3 nights a week, 7, 8, 9 o'clock, John and I would get in the pub. No questions were off limits, and we'd speak with people, and we literally must have connected with thousands of people over that 12 to 18 month period. And I think that's also a reason why we've got good numbers out here now at the iPro. So I think it goes back to my point about delivering that connectivity, about creating that sort of mutual trust. And we generally thought maybe that had gone a bit. But we're custodians of this football club. We are looking to create a football club for the community, for the people within Derby, and we can't do that just the two of us or the exec board or the owners or whoever it may be. This is a collective effort, and we need to understand what's important to people. There's a real family culture. I think you see in a club like Derby, where again it's so central to its city. You have lots of people that support Derby. You have lots of people who've been at the club a long time. There's a real caring, hard-working culture, and I think with that, football lives on passion. So if you're not passionate, you really you shouldn't be here. So you've got passionate people, hard-working, connected to the football club. So if you get things right, then people will give you every ounce they've possibly got, and you see that. You see just incredible hard work and commitment from throughout the whole football club. September 2012 was when I think I was announced to join the ownership group and then to come to the club in the new year. We were sort of 20th or so in the second tier of English football. We'd been average 15th really for 4 or 5 years, but I felt there was just so much more that could happen at the club. I thought the biggest thing first of all was we needed to connect with our supporter base and connect with our community. Had a difficult season in the Premier League, and really apart from that hadn't been at the top table for a decade. And as a result of that, the fan base had become a bit disconnected. I think the performance levels, it's always very tough when you're seeing people around you doing well, coming in and out of the Premier League being the big story. And for Derby were missing out, and 4 or 5 seasons of difficult times. And they were difficult because I think, when you come out of the Premier League in the way in which we did, you're going to take you some time to bounce back. So for me, it was an opportunity to sit down, look at the various things that make a football club work well, but most importantly, let's get this club back to be the centre of its community, where local Derby people who are passionate about their football club now feel back connected. And so that was the first thing we wanted to do, was to get the club back and get it central to its community. And then from there, people then are willing and behind you as you look to grow and look to develop the club and to get really the most important thing, which is the products on the field, to be of the highest standard. And that's really how we've moved. Get ourselves connected with the community and then address the products on the field. And those two things together can then help to drive the revenue, drive the broadcast rights, get the business community then really on side, and you've got all the different ingredients that work to make a successful football club.